Now, if you're like me, I'm willing to bet that one of the things that you're most excited about the Char-Griller Gravity 980 is the ability to smoke all kinds of different meats, from shoulders to ribs to briskets, you name it. Now, the great thing about the grill, because it's charcoal burning, is it means it's already can produce a lot of smoke that's going to really enhance the flavor profile of your meats. But the big question you may be wondering is, can I add extra smoke to really further up that flavor? And the short answer is yes. There are two methods that are recommended by Char-Griller. So I'll jump in and I'll show you the first method. Now, this involves taking your wood chunks here and actually adding them directly to the ash pan. So this way, as the little bits of coal and ash fall down from inside the firebox as they burn, they land on top of your wood chunks and they just slowly ignite them and produce smoke, which gets pulled up into the chamber and blown into the meats. Now, this is really simple and easy because you can just simply open the door, add in a few chunks at a time. Char-Griller does recommend only adding about a half pound at a time. And if you stick to this approach here, you can probably add it every hour to hour and a half, just sticking a couple more chunks there. And really, if you've got chunks that are in there that are still burning, still producing smoke, you don't need to add them. You can kind of wait until a little bit. We certainly don't want to overdo it and add too much smoke, because that could actually take it too far and ruin the meat for us. So let's jump in. I'll show you exactly where to place these inside the grill. All right, so for method one, you can simply add the wood chunks to the bottom of your ash pan here. Now, once again, as this is burning here, the coals will fall down from the top, and you can simply stick your up to a half pound at a time of wood chunks just directly in there. And then as they slowly burn every, once again, 60 or 90 minutes, you can just simply open the door, pop in a few more pieces, and be on your way. Now, the thing that I like about this method of just simply adding it to the ash pan there is you have a lot of control. You can choose when to add it. You can add just a little bit. You can add a little bit more. It just gives you a lot more flexibility. Now, option two here is you can actually take the same wood hunks and add them directly to our charcoal hopper. Now, the way that you'd want to do this is, of course, to not just throw them all in at one time, is do layers. So perhaps you put in a little bit of charcoal first, we add a little bit more wood chunk, a little bit more charcoal on top, and then repeat. Now, the Char-Griller recommendation is to not add more than 1.5 pounds of total wood chunks throughout the entire column there. Which may not sound like a lot, but realistically, because we're burning charcoal here, we don't need that much added smoke. This just to really add a little bit of flavor profile and enhance it just a tiny bit, so you're able to disperse it throughout there. Now, the thing that I like about this approach of adding it to the column is, let's say you're going to be doing a long smoke, say 12, 14 hours for a brisket, is you don't have to be constantly going back in to check to say, okay, do I need to add more chunks to the ash pan? You can just simply distribute them throughout the hopper, and it'll just kind of slowly burn them over time. So that's definitely an advantage. One disadvantage, however, is, let's say if you're going to be doing some shorter cooks and you don't necessarily want to have the wood, or perhaps you want to change different types of wood, you would have to actually remove the pan out of the top to pull that out and perhaps sort through and dig out the hunks of wood to remove them. So once you've got it loaded in there, it's not to say that you can't remove them, it just requires a little bit more work. So depending on what type of cook you'll be doing, how long you'll be doing it, you've got really these two various options at hand here. Now, if you're like me, you may be wondering exactly what a half pound of charcoal looks like. So I've just got some apple chunks here just to give you an idea. But, if we were just following the prescription here to simply do a half pound at a time, you can see that these two hunks here get us to 7 ounces, which is super close. There's 7.5. I can probably find another little one. And 7.8. That's close enough for me. But ideally, that would be the max you would kind of add at one time to the ash pan. And even these two bigger hunks and these two small ones, that's going to produce a ton of smoke. Realistically, that's probably good for 90 minutes at least, maybe a little bit more. Now, let's say if you were trying to add the full 1.5 pounds here, that would be distributed throughout the hopper. Let's just get a couple more hunks in here to see what this looks like. Once again, how much your wood is dried out, what type of wood will kind of impact exactly what this looks like. But this is just to give you a quick idea of what 1.5 pounds of lump might look like. So that's a little over 1.5 pounds, but just to give you an idea there, it's a pretty fair amount, and this would be completely distributed throughout the entire hopper. All right, now if you want to make it easy, of course you can continue to add wood chunks throughout your entire cook, but once again, knowing that we've got charcoal that already produces a lot of natural smoke, realistically you're looking at the first 3 or 4 hours is kind of the time when the meat will soak up the most of that flavor. So if I was going to target any time where you get the most bang for your buck, in terms of adding wood chunks, that'll be it. So as far as focusing on loading them in the hopper, or perhaps adding more of the chunks towards the bottom of the hopper if you're going to load it through that route, that's probably going to be the best option for you. So there you go. There's your two options for adding charcoal to further enhance your wood smoke with the Char-Griller Gravity 980. If you like this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up down below, and make sure to also subscribe, as I'll be putting out more videos about this grill in the future. Till next time, enjoy your barbecue, my friends.